Hello there, and welcome back to the Fantasy Minecraft Guide. In today's episode, we're going to go over the build that we made to house our creeper farm. Our creeper farm is going to be expandable. We discussed last time that we had a Chapman design and currently have 2 levels, but it's expandable, as many levels as we want. I am in the chest area, and it is giving me enough stacks of gunpowder where my usage of the gunpowder is less than the accumulation rate, so it seems 2 levels is doing fine now, but if we start doing some significant exploring, which we might do in this episode, we might need another level or 2 added on. Once we've gone over the build and gone through the time lapse, I'll go over my plan with you guys as far as to what type of base I think we're going to be looking at. Now that we have a couple large structures, I want to start planning for the eventual long-term size and shape of this base. After that, we'll move on to the mod pack. We'll discuss the Disenchanter, and then I want to add another of the Mythic Metals mining tools to our arsenal, the Orichalcum Hammer. So one of the things that I had to do to build the structure that you're going to see is gather up just a ton of deep slate, and the Banglum pickaxe was great for that. However, I think the Orichalcum Hammer is another thing I want to explore, as I imagine that this village is going to use a decent amount of deep slate. After we go over those 2 features of the mod pack, we'll do a little bit of exploring, as if we have a disenchanter, I want to go out and try to find some of the gear which spawns with the high level enchantments that we might want to strip off of it and put onto some of our gear. So we'll kick it off with the time lapse and enjoy the episode. With a tower design inspired by Barad from The Lord of the Rings. Given that we have the frozen necromancer, I wanted to take the lava-inspired design that they have in Lord of the Rings and make this kind of frozen-inspired design. So this thing is about 120 blocks tall. It took a ton of time to build it, so I am pretty happy with the outcome, though. I think it gives this very imposing structure, lit up with all these whatever these ramparts torches are, which give this kind of blue flame look. And then just everything is, the dark grays, blacks, and blues that we have been going with on the inside. I did make a staircase, so the entire thing is actually walkable. I don't know that I'll ever do that, but it is just for satisfying my desire to have it walkable. So this is our spawning platform for our creeper farm. So that was kind of the whole point of this tower, was to have a good spawning platform for the creeper farm. So if we're standing up in there, they're spawning down in here, and then dropping down into the collection area. So at nighttime it doesn't have great spawn rates because I did not light up the surrounding area. However, during the daytime, like I said, it does spawn at enough of a rate where, at least while I was hanging out here building, I accumulated a pretty decent amount of gunpowder. You know, in addition to the tower, it has a couple of different levels, all of which are accessible by the stairways. You know, that was the major midway point, and then there's these little kind of outcrops as well, a little bit lower, and then there's some higher up as well. The only issue that I'm having with it is that these little kobold guys just seem to spawn here relentlessly, regardless of light level or time of day. The nice thing about it is that they do spawn in the creeper farm, and they're a source of emeralds. So my creeper farm has almost become a very slow emerald farm as well. But you can see the amount of gunpowder that it's accumulated, and this is from me AFKing it maybe for a little bit while I was watching some TV with my kid. But for the most part, I don't think I have to worry about gunpowder anymore. So I built it just within render distance, basically, of my village here. I'm going to work on this bridge. Kind of got something in place, but we'll detail it at some point. But now that we have the cathedral and this tower, which I think are going to be kind of the two focal points of our town, I'm thinking that the cathedral is going to come out, the road will hook this way, we'll have like a central, you know, square, if you will, in this area, and then a main road will lead out, obviously, to this tower. So this is going to end up pushing our original starter house off to kind of, you know, secondary land. I'm going to move most of the storage into this building at some point and move everything over here, and then we'll build up, eventually strip down all of these regular village houses and replace them with custom village structures. I think that's going to be my long-term plan for the area. I think a lot of them I'm just going to do kind of very generic little houses with some kind of showcase builds in there as well. Probably some form of like a town hall structure maybe in here adjacent to our little temple. And then if any of the structures are profession-based, we'll tailor them to the professions. All right, so let's kind of talk about the Disenchanter now that we've gone over our future plans. The Disenchanter is something that is very useful because it can strip enchantments off of existing items. And we picked up an item earlier on, it's in our starter house, we'll go grab it in a second, which has enchantments that you can't get through any other means other than stripping them off the items, at least not that I'm aware of. So here's the item that we actually are going to want to disenchant. You can see it has protection 6 and unbreaking 4, which is usually not possible through the enchanting table or through villager trading. So this is kind of, at least as of now, the only item I have that is worth disenchanting, so it'll be our demo for the Disenchanter. So to make the Disenchanter, you just need a couple of emerald blocks, a black carpet, and some crying obsidian, and pretty easy recipe to make. So once you have your Disenchanter, when you go into it, it's going to have essentially this screen, and you need kind of several things to go on here. You need the item which you're going to disenchant, and then you need a book, and then you need a catalyst or a reagent or whatever you want to call it. And there's many different options for that, and each of them does different things. I'll put up a graphic in editing so you can see it, and I'll go over it as well. If you want to recover the first enchantment and preserve the item, you use an amethyst shard. The diamond you can use to recover 2 random enchantments and the first one, giving you a total of 3, but it will not preserve the item. Emerald will recover 2 random enchantments. An ender pearl recovers 1 random enchantment, and the item is preserved, but it reduces 500 durability. The experience bottle recovers all the enchantments that are at the same level as the highest one present. Heart of the Sea recovers all enchantments but reduces them by 1 level. And the Nether Star recovers all the enchantments and also preserves the item. So at this point, because I don't care about this item, it's just an iron chest plate, I can use a diamond because that will give me at least 2 enchantments off of it. Not for nothing, as we kind of already saw with the Wither fight, the Nether Star isn't exactly the hardest thing to get with this necromancer, so if you did have an item that you wanted to preserve everything and take everything off of, it probably wouldn't be too hard for you to accomplish if you built a necromancer as well. So once you have all the items you need, it's just simple as coming in here, put them all in their respective locations, and hitting disenchant. As you can see, that did destroy the item. We expected that because we used a diamond, and it gave us a book with both Protection 6 and Unbreaking 4. As this chestplate is basically about as good as I can expect to get with its mythic roll, we'll put it right on there. And now you can see we have a Protection 6, Unbreaking 4 chestplate. So the nice thing about this Disenchanter is you can find an item that is like that iron chestplate, something that you don't necessarily want to wear, and get those enchantments on an item that you like a lot better. And now that we have this Disenchanter, it kind of gives us a little bit more encouragement to go back out into the world and explore a lot of the structures out there, to find items with those high-level enchantments on them. Even if we are at a point where I basically don't plan on changing my gear itself anymore, I do want to optimize all the enchantments. So, this Disenchanter is a good way to do that. So the other thing we want to talk about is a little bit of our mining situation. So because we're building with deep slate so much, we're in a situation where we have the Banglum pickaxe, the legendary Banglum pickaxe, and we can, do the explosion to mine, but it has a cooldown on it, so we can only do it every so often, and it's not necessarily something where we can insta-mine while the cooldown is, while the item is on cooldown. So there is somewhat of a delay as we're mining along, as we got to wait for it to cool down. So another option in the Mythic Metals mod pack is the Orichalcum Axe. Correction, is the Orichalcum Hammer. So the Orichalcum Hammer is something that's made out of the Orichalcum ore, which you can see on the little chart is located somewhere between looks like 8 down to around Y56, Y54. Negative Y54, 56. It's not necessarily the most common, I find, in all the time we've been in this world, which is a lot of days. I think I only had about 18 pieces of it. I mean, I never was specifically looking for it that much. But, it's not like iron where we just have stacks and stacks, and copper where we have stacks and stacks. So it is a little bit rare. And you do need a hefty amount of it to make the hammer. So the hammer you need, the 2 sticks is no problem, but you need 2 full blocks of it, so 18 ingots. But once you have that, not a hard crafting recipe otherwise. It's really just a matter of going out there and finding the materials. So we're going to make our hammer, which of course only rolls rare. And I'm going to guess it probably takes Orichalcum to re-roll it. Let's go check. Yeah, so it's going to need Orichalcum ingots, which we'll go out and get those at some point. So for the hammer, I'm going to try to enchant it up a little bit. We'll see if we have any books of efficiency, and if not, we'll catch efficiency 4 on the enchanting table and then get a book of efficiency 4. Well, somehow with stroke of luck we rolled efficiency 5. Usually that's kind of hard to get in the enchanting table. We end up with efficiency 5 on breaking 3 mending, and I'm going to grab silk touch, I believe, to put on it as well. This way we have our legendary Banglum pickaxe for fortune and our Orichalcum hammer for silk touch purposes. And then we'll go down to levels where we would be able to get Orichalcum. And we'll have a little bit of a, almost like a comparison of the two. So you'll see both of them do a 3x3 tunnel, but the Orichalcum axe has no cooldown, which means we can kind of just progress through here at a ridiculous rate. The Banglum pickaxe is going to be more go, wait, go, wait. So nowhere near as efficient as that Orichalcum Hammer. It also looks like the Orichalcum Hammer has, with a modifier of 20% durability increase, 1,000, a little less than 1,000 more of the legendary Banglum pickaxe, and that has a 50% durability increase. So I'm guessing with a 50%, this thing's over double the amount of durability. One of the issues that I have with the legendary Banglum pickaxe is that it breaks rather quickly. And I will say the legendary Banglum pickaxe has been great up to this point as far as getting the deep slate I needed for my build. I don't know, we could check. So we mined almost 4,000 deep slate for that build. So I'm actually going to guess, as far as blocks, it's a lot more than that, because I'm thinking that probably only counts the one block you actually click on. And the Banglum pickaxe does 3x3 by 3 essentially. Is it by 3? So yeah, so that 4,000 is probably individual blocks mined, but the Banglum pickaxe is doing a 3x3 by 6. So there's a ton more than that. And if you look at cobbled deep slate that we picked up, you know, it's almost 14,000. So that means it would have taken us at least 4 times the amount of time to mine the same amount of deep slate if we were using a regular pickaxe versus the Banglum. And now with this Orichalcum Hammer, I would imagine we can just strip through deep slate at pretty much unprecedented levels. I mean, just look at this tunnel that we just did in the meantime. Now, one cool thing I found while I was deep slate mining down here was a slime spawner. I guess I don't need to find a slime chunk now, but as of now I haven't really found any real use for slime. There's also another zombie spawner. They seem to be pretty commonplace in this mod pack. Maybe there's this commonplace in regular Minecraft, you just don't have the capability of mining at the same rate that we seem to in this mod pack. And now that I've crafted this thing, I think I'm probably going to make a fortune version of it as well, and switch entirely to the Orichalcum Hammer, as the Banglum pickaxe seems pretty obsolete now. Well, now that we have the Disenchanter and the Orichalcum Hammer covered, maybe we'll just go explore some structures, try to find some items we can put in the Disenchanter, and at the same time cover some of the just kind of cool structures that you can find in this mod pack. So I just kind of went through some of the achievements and quests, and I just have a list of structures, and we'll hit them one by one. We got a whole bunch of rockets and a whole bunch of carrots. I think my carrot villager is dead now, unfortunately, but we'll have to get another one. And we'll hit some structures. So the first thing we come across here is this woodland keep. I don't know if this is the one that we had found organically at one point, so we may have already raided this. Apparently not. So this right here is kind of exactly what we're looking for. Just an insane amount of efficiency and unbreaking on pickaxe. And then we have, not that I'm going to use Blast Protection 5, but Blast Protection 5 here, and somehow Infinity on a hat? I wonder if that lets you if that actually works for your bow. So off to a great start. Woodland Keep is the name of the structure. So definitely a structure that can spawn useful items. So these doors are open, so I think this actually is the one we raided earlier, and we must have missed that, which is embarrassing. Well, this Woodland Keep is clear. Off to a good start. We'll resume back towards the Deep Slate Keep and see what else we find along the way. So we've stumbled across this small keep. You know, we had good luck in the Woodland Keep, so let's see what's going on in here. An interesting little place with a whole bunch of zombie villagers. Well, at this point, nothing I'm writing home about. See what this is. Some kind of a barn. Alright, so this looks like our Deep Slate Keep. Whoa. Interesting blend of like mud, basalt, and deep slate on the roof here. Oh, here's another one. Apparently the word keep is a good source of luck. Here's gonna be a amethyst helm with protection 5, unbreaking 5. Slowly working our way up. So because the keep that we're in is from this ATI Structures mod, I think moving forward we're gonna focus on other structures from this mod, because I'm going to assume that they have similar loot tables. Could be wrong, but it seems like a good educated guess. Alright, dojo seems relatively close, and the next most interesting looking one on the list. And it looks like we're coming up on our dojo with a geode sticking out of the wall. That's kind of cool. I don't remember if we've covered the dojos yet, but they're another cool structure. The structures from this mod are just very well built, very detailed. I mean, really like a lot of the structures in this mod pack in general are cool, but the ones from whoever made this mod are just exceptionally nice looking. Well, it doesn't look like there's going to be anything in this dojo here. So here's one of these ships. This is a achievement as well, and they're just cool. So we'll check this out. I don't believe they're going to carry any of the specialty items we're looking for, but they're just cool. They're also really good sources of, if you're looking for spawners to get the, what the heck is going on with you? Flying skeletons. They're good sources of spawners if you're looking to get, like, your, heart containers. We're maxed out, so not something we need right now. Also, interestingly, on these, the spawners have some kind of a reset delay, so they're not just constantly cranking them out like a dungeon spawner might be. Well, so there you have it. It's the ship. Nothing that's going to give us crazy enchantments. Definitely a good place to visit early or even mid-game if you still need diamond armor and, you know, normal enchanted gear, as it is a great source of that and emeralds and such. Be a great little survival island. Lava pool, a couple different wood types, sand, grass. Solid survival island. Another ship. Oh. Found a unique weapon. Never gonna use it, but it's kind of cool. There you go, guys. A lot of pillagers just swimming around out here. Might as well check this thing out while we're here. Little stinking temple. I believe this is also the ATI Structures, not 100%. Yeah. Fortune 7. This side. Fire protection 5, unbreaking 10, flint and steel with mending on it. That seems useful. Like even this, if you weren't trying to strip enchantments off of stuff and just stumbled across this earlier in the game, like it's a solid amount of enchantments to have. Oh, these are nice. These are actually really nice. You don't really have to jump on one block high. It just automatically makes you go up them. I don't know if I want to use them though, because we have creeper shoes, and those are nice because basically a creeper never will blow your builds up. They won't come near you. Or the kitty slippers, I guess, is what they're actually called. King's Trident, huh? That's crazy looking. Well, this place was definitely worth checking out. I guess basically any of these structures in Chapter 2 are actually going to be the ones from that mod, which is kind of cool. The Icebound Ship. We're finding a lot of ships today. Dagger of Greed. Attacked villagers and pillagers drop emeralds. Huh. Kinda have to take it just because it's kinda unique. I guess this is the Ice Tribe. Kinda merged with this ship, but here's more of these specialty items here. What is weird this? Alien dirt block. Fire aspect, unbreaking, curse of vanishing on a dirt block. And it glows with an enchantment glint. No idea what to do with that. I might even just place it in my base for laughs. Alright, well we do have a ton of stuff we got. Been out here for a little while. I'm guessing this episode's gonna start getting a little long. So I think it's time to head back to base, take inventory of what we have, and wrap it up. And then maybe that will leave us, you know, probably still a bunch more structures to explore in future episodes. Okay, so we are back at our base, and we'll take a look at everything we got and rip some of these enchantments off the items and figure out what it is we actually want to do with. So I put all the items we found in this convenient little shulker, and we got a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it we're probably more interested in than others. But taking a look at it, it doesn't look like anything has anything more. This one has 4 on it, so we'll have to pay attention to that. But most of them have 2 or 3 enchantments. I'm actually going to keep this trident as is. It's just add mending to it, and it's basically a great trident. But everything else, except for the gnome pickaxe, we should be able to just strip the enchantments off of with diamonds. We don't really care if we lose it. The gnome pickaxe, I don't care if I lose it, but it has 4 enchantments, and diamonds only take 3. So one thing to note, I wasn't sure, so I tested on the tinfoil hat, which just had blast protection and infinity on it. If the amethyst shard stripped off 1 enchantment and left the others on there, or stripped off 1 enchantment and got rid of the others, and it does disenchant the entire item. So you recover 1 enchantment, but then it gets rid of all the others. So just something to keep in mind, because the wiki for it doesn't specifically say it actually gets rid of them, but it does. So I'm going to go through with the ones that we can take with diamonds, which is going to be everything except for the gnome pickaxe, and strip the enchantments off. So really our only option for the gnome pickaxe is going to be to use a nether star if we want to get everything off of it. However, we have a lot of things that gave us high level unbreaking, high level efficiency, and the gnome pickaxe, really the main thing I want off of it is fortune 7. It's a shame to lose unbreaking 10, but in the period of time that we were out looking for structures, in actual game time, obviously not video time, I would say I spent less than 2 hours, and I only went in one direction, so I would assume I'm going to find a scattering of structures in any other cardinal direction I go. So I think I'm not going to waste my nether star just because I don't feel like going and farming more wither skulls, and we haven't made our beacon yet. And I'm just going to remove the first enchantment on this. So I'm actually going to use the diamond instead of the amethyst. Rather than just remove the first enchantment, I can remove the first one and an additional 2 random. So we lost sharpness 7, which not a huge deal. It's something that would have been better than what I had on my sword, but it would have been hard to separate it off of that book, I believe, so it wasn't something that I was ever going to put on the sword anyway. So coming out of that, we now have blast protection 5, don't really care. Efficiency 10 and unbreaking 30. I don't even know what to do with that. We're going to put that on something and test it out almost immediately. We have 2 of those. An unbreaking 5, protection 5. Another unbreaking 5, protection 5. Fire protection 5, don't really care. That's an unbreaking 10, so that could probably go on something. And then fortune 7. So I'm going to go ahead and throw efficiency 10 and unbreaking 30 on my hammer. And then let's go mess around. So I did make a small mistake earlier in the video. It looks like the hammer is 3 by 3 by 2 depth. Maybe a way to increase that. Okay, so we completely empty inventory here. We're going to see how long it takes to get a full inventory of deep slate with this hammer now. So, not even 1 minute. We're pretty much full up. I mean, obviously there's a whole bunch of random blocks that appeared in here. Some Orichalcum though, so that's kind of cool. But this just breaks mining in Minecraft. I mean, I am super happy I had the Banglum pickaxe. I wish I realized that this thing existed. Go make an Orichalcum Hammer. That is absolutely insane. Like, deep slate is instamine. It's just crazy. This thing is insane. My only regret with this hammer is that I put silk touch on it, because I was thinking of, like stone. Like, nobody wants just regular cobblestone as much as they want regular stone, because it can be crafted into things, but the whole point for this was to mine deep slate. And I don't want cobbled deep slate is what you make everything out of. I'm going to save the fortune and the other efficiency for when I make a Orichalcum hammer for my fortune, as unfortunately this awesome legendary Banglum pickaxe is going to be obsolete. So we'll go ahead and add these other enchantments to the rest of our armor, giving us protection 5 on 2 more pieces, and then I'm actually going to give us fire protection 5 on the helmet, just because, like, I'm not dying anyway, so why not? So that's going to wrap it up for me this episode. We definitely accomplished a lot. Next episode is going to be episode 10, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do for it. I think it might be more of a building focused episode. I think maybe we'll strip down and do a significant amount of work on that village. It's at the point where, as I make these structures, I would really like to see them fitting in the world a little bit better and not have the just normal village generation, although it's much better than vanilla village generation. But the colors just aren't what I'm looking for. And like I said, I don't plan on going crazy with the villager houses. I may even just be at a point where I build very similar to what's there now, just in a different palette. And then sprinkle in some more unique builds. But we will see where the wind blows me. I want to thank everybody for watching. 10 episodes in, and the channel is slowly growing, and I appreciate everybody who likes and subscribes. And thank you guys. I will see you in the next episode.